Hello students, now I have come back with the questions on mole concept which are also titled as formulae, equations and amounts of substances. This is actually taken from Pearson Edexcel AS level examination, but these questions are equally applicable to the AS level examination of the Cambridge International, and these are the multiple choice questions, and multiple choice questions have the answer key in which generally only the correct answer is given, but the solution or the working is not given. So students are often at a disadvantage to understand the working behind the solution and how exactly that particular solution is obtained, and they are not aware about why a particular answer is right. So I'm going to solve the questions in this video and show you exactly how the correct answer is obtained. The method that I use to solve it will help you to clear your concepts about the formulae, equations, amounts of substances, which can generally be called as the mole concept or the moles and equations. So without wasting further time, let me start with the first question, and I'll be doing 10 questions in this video. Uh, the mass of magnesium ions in 1 kilogram of seawater is 1.3 gram. The concentration in parts per million is. So what is the first thing that we should do is that this 1 kilogram should be converted into grams, because this value is given in grams. So you are aware that 1 kilogram is 1000 gram. So that means in 1000 gram we have got 1.3 gram of the magnesium ions. Parts per million means that in 10 raised to 6 parts. So we just apply this formula, and on solving you can easily see that it will be 1.3 into 10 raised to 3, which is the answer B, and therefore B is the correct answer. Hope you understood. Let's go to the next question. And now in the next question it says that calculate the total number of ions in 7.4 gram of calcium hydroxide. The molar mass of calcium hydroxide is 74.1 gram per mole. The Avogadro constant is 6 into 10 raised to 23 per mole. Okay, so we have to find the number of ions, right? So first step would be to find the number of moles, so which we can easily do. 7.41 gram is the mass divided by the molar mass, 74.1, so we get the number of moles, which is 0.1, but we have to find the number of ions. So here the catch is that you have to actually understand that in 1 mole of calcium hydroxide, when it is made up of calcium ions and 2 hydroxide ions, so actually in 1 mole of calcium hydroxide there are 3 moles of ions. This is the catch. This is the thing which students can miss. So once you get zero point 0.1 moles of calcium hydroxide, it is not the number of moles of ions, so it will be 3 times. So I multiplied this by 3, so I got 0.3 moles, and then this will be multiplied by the Avogadro constant to get the total number of ions, which then gives you 1.8 into 10 raised to 23, which is the answer C. Okay, so let's go to the next question. 100 centimeter cube of hydrogen is mixed with 25 centimeter cube of oxygen at a temperature of 150 degrees. The gases react as shown in the equation below. 2H2 plus O2 gas gives you 2H2O gas. And what is the total volume of gas present at the end of the reaction? So this is an interesting question, because here you have to use several concepts, like you have to use the concept of excess and limiting reagents. So let's work that out first, because we have to see whether any one of them is excess or limiting. So how do we decide that? See, 2 moles of hydrogen reacts with 1 mole of oxygen. That means 2 volumes reacts with 1 volume. So if I take 100 centimeter cube of hydrogen, then I should have 50 centimeter cube of oxygen. See, the ratio is ratio is between the hydrogen and oxygen is 2:1. So 100 would require 50 centimeter cube of oxygen using this concept, but we have got only 25 centimeter cube. That means this is the limiting and therefore this is the excess. So 25 centimeter cube of oxygen can react only with 50, 1:2. So 50 centimeter cube of hydrogen. So therefore a 50 centimeter cube of the hydrogen is in excess. Now further you have to see that the volume of water will be in the ratio of 1:2. So if the volume of oxygen is 25 centimeter cube, the volume of water will obviously be double of that, that is 50 centimeter cube. Now 50 centimeter cube is the volume of water in the gaseous form, but out of 100 centimeter cube of hydrogen, 50 centimeter cube of hydrogen were in excess, so they remain unreacted. So the total volume of gas will be this 50 plus this 50, that is 100 centimeter cube, which is the answer B. So this is the answer B. Hope you understood. If you have not understood, go through the solution once again and try to understand. Okay, we go next to this question. Sodium nitrate decomposes on heating according to this reaction. What is the maximum volume of oxygen measured in dm³ at room temperature and pressure which could be obtained by heating 0.5 mole of sodium nitrate? The molar volume of a gas is 24 dm³ per mole at room temperature and pressure. Okay, so here we have to again use the mole ratio, that is 2 moles of sodium nitrate give you 1 mole of oxygen. So the mole of oxygen is half of the mole of sodium nitrate. That is what you have to understand in this. So if you have got 0.5 mole of sodium nitrate, the moles of oxygen formed will be the half of this, that is 0.25 moles, correct? And then you simply multiply by 24 to get the volume, and that comes out to be 6 dm³, and therefore the answer is B. Hope you understood this. Okay, so now we go to the next question, where we have another question. So let's see. An excess of copper 2 oxide is mixed with 40 centimeter cube of 2.4 mole per dm³ hydrochloric acid. So this is the reaction which takes place if the mass of copper 2 chloride produces 5.50 gram. What is the percentage yield of copper 2 chloride? So this is a different kind of question. We have to find out the percentage yield. Okay, so once again, because the copper 2 oxide is in excess, which means that all of your hydrochloric acid will be able to react. So let us find out the number of moles of hydrochloric acid, which is the 40 centimeter cube times the concentration, but this volume will be in dm³. So I get the number of moles of HCl as 0.1 mole. Now again see the ratio is 2:1. That means if you have 0.1 mole of hydrochloric acid, you will get half of that, that is 0.05 mole of copper chloride. And now we can find out the mass corresponding to this 0.05 mole of copper chloride. So multiply it by its molar mass, that is 134.4. You get 6.72 grams. So this 6.72 gram is the calculated amount of copper chloride which is formed from the hydrochloric acid. But the question says that the mass of the copper chloride produced is 5.50 gram, which you can see is less than the theoretical amount, which is 6.72 gram. This can happen because of many reasons. Maybe your experimental errors, because of which you did not get the desired amount, So percentage yield can be found out by using the formula. How much you actually got, 5.50, how much was expected, 6.72, and then into 100% gives you the percentage yield, and this corresponds to 81.8, which corresponds to the answer A. Okay, now let's go further. Now the ionic equation for this reaction. Now this is a tricky question where students will find it difficult to understand. So let me explain to you that what are the key things that you have to understand, keep in mind for this type of question. See here, the copper oxide is solid. So being a solid, it will not ionize. Being a solid, it will not ionize. So if you see the first part, it is incorrect because it is ionized. So this seems to be correct. Copper oxide solid, it is not ionized. Okay, then this with whichever is our aqueous are ionized. So these two chlorines here, can cancel with these two chlorines. So you will be left with the 2H plus, which is this, and this will cancel, so we'll be left with the Cu2 plus, and H2O being a liquid will not ionize, so this is correct. So B seems to be the correct answer, and B is the correct answer. If you go to the option C, then you find that they have not cancelled the chlorides, therefore it is wrong. And here they have ionized water, but water is a liquid, it will not give you oxide ion, so this is also wrong. So the correct answer is B. Okay, now the next question is, some facts about copper 2 chloride are given below. Which of these gives the best evidence that the bonding in copper 2 chloride is ionic? It has a melting point of 620 degrees. It does not conduct electricity as a solid. It decomposes before it reaches its boiling temperature. In the electron density map, there are no contour lines around more than one nucleus. So this in fact is the actual evidence that the bonding in copper 2 chloride is ionic. So D is the correct answer. Okay, now we go to the next question. A compound has the composition given, and what is the empirical formula? So simply divide the percentage by the relative atomic mass. So 62.1 for carbon divided by 12 is 5.175. 10.3 divided by 1 gives you 10.3. 27.6 divided by 16 gives you this. Now write down the values which you got and then divide by the smallest number, which is 1.725. So you get this ratio, 3:6:1. So obviously D is the correct answer, where it is 3, 6 and 1. So D is the correct answer. Okay, now let's go to the next one. 25 centimeter cube of 1 mole per dm cube sulfuric acid is fully neutralized by 20 centimeter cube of 1 mole per dm cube sodium hydroxide. What is the concentration of sodium sulfate solution produced by the reaction? So the first thing that you should do is to write down the reaction between sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid. So this is the equation, right? So now what is the concentration of sodium sulfate? So you can see that the number of moles of sulfuric acid is the same as the number of moles of sodium sulfate, 1:1. So the number of moles of sulfuric acid will be 25/1000 into 1, which is 0.025 mole. So the mole of sodium sulfate will also be 0.25 mole. But you have mix 25 centimeter cube and 50 centimeter cube, so the total volume becomes 75 centimeter cube, but this should be in decimeter cube, so divide by 1000. So this will be the concentration of sodium sulfate, and that gives me 1/3, which is 0.33. So D is the correct answer. So hope you understood. If not, go through the method and the solution once again. Okay, now here the volumes are measured using burettes, with each burette reading having an uncertainty of 0.05 centimeter cube. The percentage error in measuring 25 centimeter cube of the acid. Here you have to understand that 0.05 centimeter cube is the uncertainty in one reading, but burettes are read two times, that is the initial burette reading and the final burette reading. So the total error will be 0.05 into 2, which is zero point 0.1, and now 0.1 over 25 into 100% gives me plus or minus 0.4%, and that's why D is the correct answer. Going to the next question. Complete combustion of a hydrocarbon produce 0.66 gram of carbon dioxide and 0.225 gram of water. Which of the following molecular formulae is consistent? Now here the concept used is that you are not given the moles of carbon and hydrogen which are required over here, but you can find out the moles of carbon dioxide and water by dividing by the molar mass, that is 44. So this is the moles of carbon dioxide, this is the moles of water. But the concept that you have to use here is that in the formula of carbon dioxide, for 1 mole of carbon dioxide, there is 1 mole of carbon, and in the formula of water, in 1 mole of water, there are 2 moles of hydrogen. So from here you can get that the number of moles of carbon will be the same, but the number of moles of hydrogen will be twice of this. So these are the values. You divide this by the smallest number, that is 0.015. So you get the ratio 1:5 by 3. And to simplify it, you can multiply both the sides by 3. So this 3 into 3 gets cancelled and you get the ratio 3:5. But you don't have any answer 3:5. But the answer is 6:10, which is an exact multiple of 3 and 5. So this is the correct answer. The correct answer is D. Okay. So we go to the 9th question. And phenol can be produced from benzene. Benzene, in step 1 there is an 80% yield, in step 2 there is a 90% yield, and we have to find out the mass of phenol, that is this one, to 2 decimal places produced from 3.90 gram of benzene. So we can find out the number of moles of benzene, that is 3.90 divided by 78, which is 0.05. Now in the first step you get 80% yield, so 80% of the 0.05 moles, 80% means 0.8, so the moles of this will be 0.04, and then 90% of that means 0.9, so this will be 0.036 mole of phenol. Multiply this by the molar mass and you get the amount in grams, which corresponds to the answer A. Please go through the solution once again if you have not followed. Okay, and look at this question, that there is a reaction of lithium with water to give hydrogen, and in an experiment lithium produced 90 centimeter cube of hydrogen. What is the percentage yield? So first see the mole ratio. 1 mole of lithium gives you half mole of hydrogen, so 0.01 mole of lithium obviously is going to give half of that is 0.01 divided by 2, that is 0.005 mole of hydrogen. Now we can find out the volume corresponding to that, which is 0.12 dn cube. If you multiply by 10 raised to 3, it's 120 centimeter cube. So you actually expect a volume of 120 centimeter cube of hydrogen, but only 90 centimeter cube are actually produced in the experiment. So the percentage yield is 90, which is produced, over 120 which was expected, into 100%. That gives me the answer of 75%. That corresponds to the answer C. Now which of the reasons is not a possible reason for the yield being less than 100%? So when I go through all the answers, hydrogen gas is very soluble in water. This is not the reason, because hydrogen gas is not very soluble in water. So this is not a possible reason. So the answer is B. So hope you understood how I solved these 10 multiple choice questions which were taken from the Pearson Edexcel AS level. but they are equally applicable to the AS level of Cambridge International Exam, and otherwise any board like IB, which also deals with these moles equations and stoichiometry. So hope you understood. If you like the discussion, please give it a like and comment, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot, and we will come back with some more questions of similar type. Thanks a lot.